it's going to be downwards. Is it better to break on the 30-minute time frame or like the 15-minute time frame? Is it better to cancel the asset on the 15-minute time frame or a higher time frame? In whichever time frame you analyze, you should stay in that time frame. The time you can use it like this is when you are using it as a combination, meaning you should combine it with candlestick. You can figure it out that way, that whether it will break or not. But the rule of trend line is that whichever time frame that you're in, you should stay in that time frame. If you change your time frame, you may get an upward signal from 4-hour time frame, but you may get a downward signal in 1-hour time frame. Then you will be confused and you will mess up the deal. Technically, you shouldn't change time frames. For entering the position exactly, shouldn't we go to the lower time frame? You should analyze the chart from the top and come to the bottom, but you shouldn't go to lower time frames. Whenever you want to do scalping, then you can go to the lower time frames. Then you can work on the lower time frames, working on half an hour and 15-minute time frames. You should figure it out before doing the position, which kind of time frame you want to do. If you want to be successful in your assets, please stay in the 4-hour time frame for a more exact analysis. This way, your stress level is lower and the risk of making a mistake is also lower. But if you want to do scalping whenever you want, then you will give and take. You will gain and then after some time in the night you will lose. Scalping has its own hours in the day. Like around afternoon I don't do scalping at all. Because around this time a new trend line will be set and this trend line is really unsteady. The trend is either going to go up or down. Why would you scalp? So when should you do scalping? Like 3 a.m. and in the yuan market. In that time, the pivots will signal back and forth. You can have your profit that way. So if you want to be successful, please stay in the time frame that I tell you and analyze in that time frame. Like in the 4-hour time frame, you wouldn't need your 1-hour time frame. If your balance is under $500, then you can do 1-hour time frame. But the lower you do your time frame, the more you will make mistakes. I've got a question. In the 1-day time frame, is the pivot stronger or uh, in the 4-hour time frame? I personally don't do deals under the 4-hour time frame. I don't care about the balance right now because my strategy is the same. You can use them in whichever time frame you want to. But the lower you go, the riskier it gets. So what's the risk? It means that the pivot or candlestick that you see on the way is not that strong and it will trick you. The trend line here is like this, and according to this trend line you would do a buy position, and this will break the trend line and it will go down because it's gonna hit the main trend line. Try not to go lower than 4-hour time frame. Sir, I've got a question. When installing and drawing the trend line, should we draw it from the shadow of the candle or the body of the candle? We've got two types of doing this. We have the drawing from the shadow and also from the body of the candle. Body of the candle is for the warning. Sometimes you may see that they draw the trend line from the body of the candle. They do it from the body of the candle, so it's kind of a warning for you. Technically, you should do it from the shadow. The shadow is the price, right? So it's part of the candle. It is better for you to draw the line from the shadow. I always say that try to exit sooner. So if you want to exit sooner, consider the body of the candle. So if it got close to the trend line, you should exit. So if I want to do it from the shadow, it might create some kind of a space. So you mean that for exit we should do it from the shadow, and for the entry we should do it from the body of the candle, right? No. For the entry of the order, you should do it from the shadow, and for the exit, you should do it from the body of the candle. Like, if I have done a sell position here, in this wall, I would actually sell. Here, I would try to get a signal from candlestick or pivot and exit here. Did you get it? No, we didn't. Could you please make the chart bigger? Mrs. Azita, you have kind of a microphone. Please activate it. Click on it and your microphone will be on. Sir, do we have a buy position in Dow Jones? Yes, you can do a buy position in the medium term in Dow Jones. Let me explain it one more time. I will make the chart bigger, but you yourself please work on this kind of frame. Because the more pressed the chart is, the more pivot and past you can see in the chart. But the more you zoom in, you will see the pivots less. Right now, I'll zoom in for you, but in home, on your own system, please have this kind of zoom frame. If you get a 21-inch wide monitor, it will be better for you because you will see more of the chart. I will zoom in right here for the problem to be solved. When drawing the trend line, you can do it from the body of the candle to another body, or you can do it from the shadow to another shadow. Look, here, the technical form would be shadow to shadow kind of way. We wouldn't get it from the body of the candle. These bodies of the candle that you see are mostly like 80% or 70% broken, exited, and came back again because you haven't drawn your trend line correctly. So shadow to shadow. So your trend line will be fixedly drawn because it will be drawn on your pivots. But if I do it from the body of the candle, here my trend line would be under my pivots. They're not really different from each other, right? Yes, they're not that different. but this few millimeters will make you be tricked that it will go into profit, but it will like break here and then go into negative. Sir, how did you draw the body of the candle for the trend line? Like you have a upper body right there. This one? No, 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 upper. Yeah, that one exactly, but you also have this one. If I do it from that one, my trend line will break. My trend line should not be drawn broken. If I put this here, you see when I draw it like this, it will like pass the trend line a little bit here. When drawing the trend line, please be careful to not make any breakage in the trend line. You guys right now, please just learn the shadow to shadow kind of drawing the trend line. Please forget the body kind of form. I've seen some trainees do it from the body of the candle. Let me tell you something. The things that are written in the book, you shouldn't like make this kind of a Bible for you, because the people that wrote the books were people like us. There is a book that has 10 rules if that are about indicators. If you perform those indicators, you will have the best deal and position of the month. I'm not saying that I'm never wrong, but from my experience, shadow to shadow kind of form makes more sense. If you do shadow to shadow, your trend line won't break. Wherever your price is going to hit the trend line, there should be a pivot there. You must have a pivot there. If you don't, then know that you've made a mistake. This trend line is not equal to resistance. This trend line is about showing the price pivots in some kind of an hour or time frame. You just think that your trend line is your resistance as well. Actually, all these tools are a way to show these kind of pivots. Sir, do you use indicators for locating the pivots? Yes, this tool that I've used is an indicator. About 10 years ago, I bought this indicator from a broker. The tool's risk for making mistakes is really low. Like I have seen some indicators in Metacode, but were risky. I haven't actually seen a pivot indicator that made less mistakes than this. These tools are really powerful. These tools have a formula. They have a way of doing things. So you can even see the trend of your day before it will even happen. Like when you use a pivot indicator or tool, it will indicate your day's resistances. So when your day changes and the market also changes, 000, the lines will change. That way you can see where your market is gonna go towards. I've opened up the chart. I haven't opened the chart like since yesterday. I had it in the 1 hour time frame and then I opened it in the 1 day time frame, and these lines are above this place. Means that my trend is upwards. I will teach you these techniques, but I will teach you when you have learned your resistances. I will explain trendline one more time. Last session, some of you would say, why wouldn't I draw the trend line like here? One of you were there that asked many great questions. If they ask their questions again, I will answer them one by one. The rule of drawing trend line is that you should do it from high to another high or shadow of a candle to another shadow. It should not create a breakage. The best trend line is a trend line that at least has 2 waves in it. If you have 3 waves, it's even better because you have 3 hits. But some trend lines are that I draw it from here to here. This is my small trend line. There was a chart once. Let me see which one it was. A chart that we wanted to draw a trend line in there, but it had problems. Like the trend line of this chart. The trend line is exactly this. Wherever you saw a candle that has a long shadow, and on the top or bottom, the highs on the top are longer than the shadow, and the drops on the bottom are longer than the drops of the shadow. Would be this kind of formation. So whenever you saw a shadow that the 2 sides of it are empty, so you definitely have a trend line. But the trend line shouldn't be broken or like hit. Like if I draw my trend line here, it would break and get hit. I shouldn't trick myself and put it here again. Because you would trick yourself into thinking that it will go up and you would do a buy position. But then it will break and go down. Okay, always remember this. Price target is always the main trend line. What does that mean? It means that this small trend line here, your small trend line is the last wave that you have considered. But before that, you've had a main trend line, like this one to this one. Here, in here, your price has hit this wall here. This one will eventually break. Why would this break? Because the price is gonna go hit the main trend line. The only time that the trend changes direction is that when the price hits the main trend line and breaks it. You yourself may have seen sometimes that when you've drawn a trend line, it has been broken. But it may have broken the small trend line or the medium term trend line, and it's gonna go hit the main trend line as well. What do I mean by the main trend line? Is that in the 1 day and upper time frames. So 1 hour time frame is the small one, and the 4 hour time frame is the medium term, and the 1 day and upper ones are the main trend lines. Here, my price is completely going upwards, and its next target is here. You may ask, why would the price go upwards and hit the upper ones? It's because it's wanna complete the main A's and V's. Always look out for the main things. Why do you think I analyze the chart at the 4 hour time frame and I make less mistakes? I predict the future trends. Like I have analyzed some chart and it has gone into negative at that moment, but it eventually gone into profit. And that is because I know what my trend is gonna be like in the future. I'm not scalping, so I shouldn't expect it to go into profit right away. Why do I tell you to analyze from the up, like higher time frames down to the lower time frames? Okay, this is a higher time frame. Start analyzing, please. This is a trend line, and this also could be the trend line. Yes. This one is one of them. And this is another one. And this is your increasing time frame. I'm sorry, this trend is upwards and this trend is downwards. According to this trend line, my price is gonna go upwards. I just know that according to this trend line, my price is gonna go hit this upper one here. And it's gonna be upwards and increasing. Don't think that this is a downwards trend line because it's gonna shape its V eventually. So if you have a buy position, don't worry. In the weekly time frame, in this wall. Here is the best place to exit the position. Where do you think is the pivot? The pivot is here. And it's going to go up until it breaks this one. It would be around here. I'm telling you, trend lines only show the pivots to you. My price would never come hit this place because I don't have a pivot here. So now I know that the whole thing is going to be upwards. I don't really have anything to do with the past of here. So I'm just going to know what will happen next. These were the trend lines and they've been broken. So don't trick yourself into thinking that they're like worth anything. Putting a trend line here is a mistake. It means that you're tricking yourself. This one is broken, this one and this one is also broken. So you should look for what the trend is going to go towards. Now I go to the 4-hour time frame. Look, the best way to do it is to consider the last two highs when drawing the trend line. This is my monthly time frame chart, isn't it? We have two trend lines. One is this and one is this. In this time frame, my last two highs are which ones? I have a medium term trend line here. This high here and this one here. Whenever you come to draw a trend line, please consider the last two highs. In the daily time frame, this one. If I don't see a high here, I will go to its past and see what is happening. Your past trend line was this. When you put it here, it will break. Here, it will break. And in here, it will break. This is not correct. And if you put it here, it will all be broken again. My past trend line was this one, right? Like, look how aligned it gets. But like, I don't care about the past of the market right now. I care about the present time. Where is the last high? This would be the last high that I have. So what the price is trying to do is to hit the bottom wall. You should not risk and do really heavy sell positions. You just do this to know what is the direction of the market. Where is the market going towards? It's going to go upwards, like eventually. You must not do positions according to trend line. Doing positions is actually according to Fibonacci and pivots, so you should not do it by trend line. I just draw the trend line in the chart to know where my market is going towards, like in the future. So the risking I would do is on what, like sell or buy. Sir, when it is moving towards a small trend line to break it, can we say that it's going towards the main trend line to break and we could enter? What do you mean? I mean, it would be like a signal for us to enter because we know that it's going to move towards the main trend line. If we're talking small trend lines, it means scalping. You should beforehand recognize what kind of trading you're going to do. Sir, how can we tell that the trend line has been broken? Like with every hit that it has, can we tell that it's broken? We can tell that a trend line has been broken where a candle is like fully created outside of the trend line. We can say that it's the second candle. The first candle is on the line, and the second candle will be created outside of the trend line. So then we can tell that the trend line has been broken. When you learn about candlestick, you can tell that before creating the second candle if a trend line has been broken or not. When the trend line breaks, a second candle gets fully formed outside of it. But most of the time we have a rejection where the trend line is so powerful and strong that it won't let the candles to be created outside of it. You mean an upward trend line, right? Yes, yes. What does rejection mean here? Here. Here. This is what rejection means. It creates a shadow and then go downwards. But like here, we haven't figured it out yet, but it may get you a rejection. These rejections are really strong. So when the new candle gets formed inside of the trend line, you can easily go and do a buy position. Last session you said that when the trend line breaks, don't think about the pullback that it's going to do. But how do we know that it's going to go pullback or not? Candlestick. Which time frame was it? I think it was the weekly time frame. Guys, do you hear me? Can you repeat again? Sir, how do we know that a trend line will not break? From candlestick? Yes, from candlestick and pivot. Look, the whole market is about candlestick and pivot. So if you learn candlestick and pivot, then you won't even need these kind of lines. What do I mean by pullback? It means that when the candlestick has a really good high, we do like with like really heavy lots, we do trading. We look for those kind of highs to trade on. But like here, I know that I won't have a pullback here. Was it this chart or another? Sir, can you explain what is exactly pullback? Yes. Pullback is here. Let me. That time you said that it has broken the trend line before it, so it will not have a pullback. But I just wanted to know what is the thing. Which chart was it? Let me teach you the pullback. I zoomed out. I want to find trend lines. I'm sorry. Let me find one. Let me just find the chart. Like this. This is the oil chart. In this chart, your trend is downwards. You know, your trend line has been broken. So you're probably not going to have a pullback here. Pullback is when the price has hit trend line once and it hits it again. If we had a trend change here, we could say that it's going to go and do a pullback. But when the price hits the trend line and the trend line gets broken and it hits the pivots, and then like pivots number 23 and 38. This pullback of the price means that it's going to go down towards the trend line. When we call it a pullback, it gets performed 50 to 60% of the time. It means that it will hit your trend line, break it, and then go back to the main trend line, and then again pull back. That's what we call a pullback. Let me do the Fibonacci for you. What was the price? The number 38, right? Yes, and the oil chart is the 38. It's the pivots that make the price crumble down and go down. Like there was a resistance here, so the price has hit it and it has gone down. It will go up, hit the pivot, and then go down again. But when does the pullbacks get performed? When the resistances are really strong. And you can figure that out by figuring out the pivots and the resistances by Fibonacci and stuff. So it depends on the pivot, right? Yes. Let me tell you something. When a candlestick gets finished, it gives us a signal that says the next candle should move in which way. Now, the pivots tell the candlestick that they should move up until which part. Now, candlestick and pivots are a combination and they're complementary. When it gets broken down here and we do a buy position quickly, it means that the price has broken the pivot and it's going to go towards the next pivot. In this part, I can easily have profit. Well, like candlestick and pivot is like 80% of the market. The other 20% is trendline, Fibonacci, and other techniques.
لطفا
In which
لطفا
zoom frame
برنامه
can we
برنامه بگین.
like see the pivots? I always see the pivots in this kind of a zoom. Check every resistance on the chart. If you didn't have one in this page, go a big page back. And I give you the tools, you won't even have to look for the pivots there.
پس میتونیم بگیم به قدرت پیوت و
Sir, the
فیبوناچی
strength of the
بستگی داره.
pivots depends
فیبوناچی هم
on
معلومه.
Fibonacci, right? Look, Fibonacci tells us by the way that the lines get created which pivots are there.
آه.
It just
خب این
shows
وقت
you the pivots and the places Sir, that they these are. Techniques that you teach us, are they can they work on every broker or just your broker? No, they will work on every broker you work with. I told you to come to the class with a real account so you can trade in the same time with me. And when it goes wrong, like you make a mistake, you can come to my Why? Broker. Because I have finished the whole position and yours hasn't even reached it yet. So it will like have problems within the trading. Check the pound or euro chart to see that where your price is at, because if the price changes, the pivots all place also changes. Isn't the prices the same in like it shouldn't be the same? They don't, because every liquid provider gives different prices. So like mine is the bank in Germany. So yeah. Some other broker has a liquid provider in England, like a bank in England. And this MetaTrader that you're trading in is not the same as the real market. So you're not trading in the real market. Remember that. It means that even if you do like 1,000 lots in this MetaTrader, it won't have any changes in the real market on the trend line. I had like 1,800 lots, and I would do it like 100 by 100. But it wouldn't change anything in the real market because MetaTrader is not the same as the Wall Street market. That is why the brokers that have liquid providers, they may differ in price like about 1 pip to 2 pips. So yeah, this 1 or 2 pips changes the place of the pivots. So yeah, they may differ. Like I don't trade on the Alpari because it creates bad candles. Why do you think I look for the brokers that are even unknown? I check the price, I check the candlestick, and then I say that, oh, this is a good market and broker. That's why I work with like that broker. Uh, that's why the prices may change. Okay, my pound is like 41. Check if it is the same as me, the pivots are the same as me as well. But if it differs in 1 pip or 2 pips, then your pivots are going to change places and your trend line is also going to change. Sometimes people put a picture in the group chat that says one broker has like broken the trend line, and in one broker it hasn't even reached the trend line. I'm sorry to say this, but brokers are really. I myself have a broker, so I know what is gonna happen, and they do something like that, and you won't even imagine that that thing has been done like that. This Alfari broker has so many customers that it won't care if you go, like, even if you get profit, it's better for them because they will do something to you that you will go by yourself. Like yesterday, I found that some brokers would, when the customer would make a deal with them, they would, and we're talking about $100, they would do it with $90, like $10 less. This $10 would be a commission to the IBA. If you are a really professional scalper, if it like takes you more than 1 second or a half to do the trade, it will have a plugin on your account. But check for yourself. Check the candle, check the price, and the best candle in a broker is when the candle server is from London.
استاد ببخشید یه سوال دارم. چرا بعضی موقع ما پوزیشن که باز میکنیم میبینیم مثلا تی پی و اس ال مون رو گذاشتیم، مثلا نرسیده به اس ال مون پوزیشنمون بسته.
Sometimes it would not hit my TP. What is the deal with that? Okay, that is the price journal. Your journal is what it is. You should check that. If the price is like in the news part, it's wide. Like the two sides should see it themselves. Like you had put your TP here. Your price has hit the TP and your like profit. But if in the normal market you have hit the TP and if the position hasn't closed, know that you have a plugin in that account. Sometimes when this happens, it's not the broker's fault. It's the problem with the widening of the price. Like the guys that are in our broker, we insist that they open STP. So if the most intense news would announce, the price wouldn't get wide. Like I don't know what broker it was that was speaking in the group chat. Like at Australian dollar had a volatility of 380, but the broker made it 800 pips. These providers are weak. The server that is getting the price is weak. It makes a price difference. Excuse me. About the brokers, can you explain about them? Yeah, I will explain about it later. Like, what do you should consider? How do you know your account is ECN or not? I will tell you now. No brokers in Iran would give you ECN accounts. It's on its site or on everything else, but it wouldn't be what you work with. It's the spread that is in my hands. I can make the spread of this currency zero, like completely zero, and give it a commission of $10 and call it an ECN. ECN are different accounts.
برای اینکه وقت گرفته نشه توی همین کوین این شادویی که زده خب
This shadow.
حالا نمیدونم موس منو میبینید
Can you see my mouse? This shadow. I should give access to you. Wait a minute. What's your ID?
آیدی من
My ID is...
زده
It's on the top.
2002
I gave you access now. Click and it would be activate.
الان فعاله
Is it activated now?
استاد
Yes.
ببینید اینه خب
You
این
see here,
موقعیت که پیش اومد
when
یه
something like this
شادو میزنه
happened, you
من
say that it
مطمئنم
would
میدونم
give
که
us a
بای
shadow,
میشه یه
and I would be
اصطلاحی
sure that it was
داشتیم
a buy. There was a
گفتید اگه
phrase.
اینجا
Here,
قله
here.
کنده
We call it a high.
آره خب
Yes.
یا کف
Or floor. I call it a high candle.
خب کندل قله گفتید اینجا یه خطی زده بودید خط همین روند زده بودید
You
درسته
said that you have drawn the trend line here.
گفته بودید که اگر یه
You
همچین
said
موردی بود
that if something like
رفت
this
بالا
happened and it
یه
gone up,
اصطلاحی داشت اون اصطلاح چی بود
there
و
was a
گفتید که من
term
اینجا
about it.
مطمئنا دیگه همشو بای میزن
And you said that I would surely do all buys. You said it would get power and then go up. That's rejection. Yes, rejection. When it gets rejected, don't move your mouse. Look, before my high was this. Look, my high was this to this. A shadow has gone out and came back inside. Look how these rejections make an intense waves. When the candle gets out of the trend line and again comes back in and creates a shadow, it should make a shadow, a long shadow. Some candles are just bodies. They don't have any shadows. I will teach you these in candlestick. But when a candle creates a long shadow and comes back inside, we call it a rejection. And it's so powerful that the price goes up again. From which candle and after we should get a buy? After the creation of this candle, enter the buy process. It's about candlestick again. I will teach you to see what happens. Like I've got an order from Dow Jones, it's according to candlestick. Could it happen in any time frame? Yes. About rejection? Yes. It will happen, but it will be weaker. Try to be like in 4-hour time frame. If you want to stick to my rules, be like me, just don't go lower than 4 hours. You won't get it stressed, like check it all the time. The 4 hours is the safe choice.
استاد یه سوال چه انتظاری میره برای باز شدن
What do we expect the candle to open in 4 hours?
ما میمونه به چه مدت
How long can we
خواهد موند این
keep
مارژن
the
ما
trade on the maximum? The 4 hours makes it like 4 hours and up, and makes it a day sometimes. But if you want to get a reply from a trade, you should be about like 8 hours. So when you open your order, you would get your profit 8 hours later. If you check it, they say, oh, it has gone up, it has gone down, and all these things. Look, don't get upset. We say these little dinglings are messing up the market. But I know that in the 3 hours in the future, my price would go up, and I would know my take profit as well. And my order would offset, and it would be a relief. and you will have enough time. Yes, that's the mystic of you, to just scalp in the 5 p.m. Like all of the Iranians that I've seen, 90% do short-term trades. And they do, in the simulated market, they scalp. It would get a lot of profit, but somewhere it would get back to you. Like right now, we imagine that this is my pounds in the American market. It's 4 p.m. I do what? I don't have this candle right here. This one that it has a line on it. I see this candle, I do the buying order, and I put the stop loss under it, and I put the take profit on the pivot. And my pivot is here, and the price is pulled back here. And after 8 p.m., I see that my price has hit my take profit, and I have been exited. Trade like this. Don't care about the signals of others. Just get your own signal. Because your strategy wouldn't get messed up. Go on. Excuse me, I have a question. Before participating in your classes, there was one thing that I don't want to name it, but they said that they do like 800 pips or 500 pips in a daily. And I joined their channel, and I didn't get any profit, even $1. I will tell you something. Consider it in the future. The one who gets profit in this market is successful. It doesn't have any VIP channel or something like that. I myself, if I have income from my Forex trade, do I chase $100 or $200? Why do I chase like $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000? Don't participate in that. Name someone who has attracted investment and until the last of the contract it was successful, or like a VIP channel and it was successful as well. I haven't seen it still. Mr. Abdullahi, excuse me. If you have daily trades and it closes in that day, we can do it in the 4-hour time frame? Yes. Yes. My strategy is daily. So it should get closed at the end of the day. It works in the 4-hour time frame, right? Yes, yes. Like myself, when I want to trade, I don't do it in the morning. I'm asleep until like noon, because I'm awake behind the system until like 5 a.m. 1:30 a.m. the new market begins. So, in that time, according to that, my candlesticks, I get signals. Like for example, like here. I imagine that my daily candle is this. I know that my whole trend is bearish. I put it here, so my trade would get closed. Can you mute it, please? Please mute yourself. Mute us all. We will message you. I won't see it that way. Let me do it. I don't know. I suggest that they go to another room. Okay, escape the children and I'm in another room. Yes, if you do this, it would be good. See that this candle is like finishing. That trade you want to do is about the candlestick and pivot. If you learn the candlestick in the daily time frame, like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., your candle has been finished, You get the signal, put your take profit, and don't just touch it again. And don't touch it in the daytime as well. It's about the candlestick. I'll teach you later. Just learn this topic first. Did you all understand the trend line? My trend line is this to this. I have a high here, an A here, and an A here. My middle trend line is this to this. Okay? My minor trend line would be like this to this, the last two peaks or highs. The last two highs are my minor trend. This is my trend line. Everyone understood? Yes. If you have questions, ask. We can draw a parallel line here as well. Did you have my voice? This is a parallel. This is a parallel. And this is a minor. And this is the minor line of the parallel. Excuse me. In Euro to USD, in 1 hour, there's something like a rejection here as well. Let me see where it is. There was some rejection here. No. There was no rejection. The next candle is going down. So, if it doesn't go down, we can say that there's a rejection. If your second candle that forms here, you should pay attention to it. Right now it's correct. Look, now it's created a shadow. It has created a shadow here. But this candle has finished in a decreasing way. If it was an increasing candlestick, it would have been a good bullish. Because this candle has finished like this, you should wait. Excuse me. Here, after this hammer, if the trend is uptrend, if it can't open our shadow, can we say that the next candle might be like increasing? Can we explain a bit? This high that has been rejected, if the next candle that is decreasing, if it was an increasing candle, but it can't open our high, but it's increasing, but it can't open the shadow, is there anything that it can be bullish? It would definitely go up. And it should go up, because the candle is increasing. Right now, this ruined it. This candle ruined everything. But it will like play in this zone and then go up. Because for getting this, put your time on a higher time frame and see that in 1 hour that your candles are on the lines, but in the 4 hours you see that there's like touching them. Because this candle is finishing in a pivot, would definitely be an overlapping the candle. Excuse me. If we're on 4 hours, can we not go to 1 hour? You should not change your time frames. You should never change your time frames, because your 4 hours is giving you up signal, but your 1 hour is giving you down signal. You like go and see the 1 hour time frame and see, oh, it's downtrend, and go and close your trade. This 1 hour was showing us the wrong thing. But in 4 hours, we didn't even have those things. Exactly, exactly.
بله.
پس بذار رو تایم یک 4 ساعته
So
ببینی از
just keep it in the
الان
4-hour
خودتون
time
عادت
frame.
بدین ها.
Get used to it.
الان خودتون عادت بدین ببینیم من طبق کندل استیک و پیوت
According to
میدونم که
candlestick and
کندلم
pivot, you
روی
know that
پیوت
this
تموم
candle has
شده
finished in a pivot,
و احتمال زیاد
and
80 90%
probably
کندل هم
80 to
پیشرفت میکنه به سمت
90%
بالا.
it will go
باز
up.
نگاه میکنم به ساعتم میبینم ساعت چندی 11 و
You
7
will
دقیقه
look at the
چقدر دیگه
clock
مارکت
and see
عوض میشه
that
داره روی
it's 11
2 ساعت
p.m.
دیگه
So
میخوایم
2 hours
محاسبه
later, the
کنیم
market will
همیشی
be changed.
کندلش که بله 2 ساعتش باید بیا اینجا تموم بشه
Yeah, and it will
اینجا
be
تموم
finished
میشه
like this 2 hours later.
قیمت کندلت اینجا تموم میشه
Your candle's price
فردا
would finish
تقریبا
here,
میشه ریزش
and tomorrow would
این
be a drop.
همش دوباره برمیگرده به کندل
It's
استیک
all about
الان
candlesticks.
بهتون بگم قاطی میکنید
If I
خب
tell you
بذار
now,
من
you will
خط
confuse it.
ترندا رو
مبحث
بگم
کندلستیک.
آره من خط ترندا رو میگم
Yeah,
بعد
I will tell you
اینو
the trend
بدونید
lines, and
آره
then we
آره
go
توی
to the
الان
candlestick.
اونجوری
تایم
که
دیر
حساب
میشه.
کرد تایم یک ساعته متوجه
Because in
شد
1
خطای
hour,
چیه
you
بله.
understood what lines were there.
چارت یورو آیودی باز میکنید یه
Can
لحظه
you open the euro to AUD?
بله
یه چیزی بهتون بگم سعی
I'll tell you
کنید
something.
چیز چارت های ماژور باشه اصلی باشه الان این
Try
یورو
to
آیودی و
be
یورو فکر کنید اینا
try to be on the
اشتباه
major
خیلی
charts.
بزرگ حالا دلیلش بعدش بهتون
It's a
میگم
really big mistake if you do minor charts.
نه اسپردشون چرا زیاده استاد اونایی که
Why
چارتای
spread is so wide?
ببینید
Look,
این چارت ها با کار
these
کردن
charts,
چارت جز پولتون از دست
these
دادن
charts usage is nothing but losing money.
یورو استرالیا
Euro,
نیوزلند
Australian dollar, and pound
شما
in
دارین
New
روی
Zealand are
این
all in the
دو
same
خط
direction.
همجهت هم دارین نوسان میگیرید
We're considering a currency pair that are getting its same direction signal. Major currency pairs that the other party is dollar are the most disciplined, have the most volatility, and is the most profitable.
الان مشکل منم این بود میخوام ببینم اینجا الان خط روندا رو چجوری بعد رسم
Well,
کنم
my problem was to how to draw these trend lines here. One was this. This was its trend line, and the parallel was this. Let me pull up the past. It was the middle one, and its main parallel was this. This was a rejection. When we put the parallel here, it rejection. It rejected it. And the whole signal is down signal. For the other route, how do we draw the trend line? When it breaks here, you should wait to give you a signal. It would be, this is an unuseful shadow. We call it an unuseful shadow.
ریجکتا میشه پرت
These rejections are like unuseful? Yes, the most of them are.
یعنی نباید مبنا قرار بدیم دیگه برای خط روند
Drop both of them. But pay attention that what your major one is. The one who has been rejected, they are unuseful. I will tell you the reason why it's gone down. It's all about your Fibonacci. The floor of your market was here, right? Yes, here. Is the channel valid enough to break and we get a sell there? The channel breaks? What does that mean? The trend line that has been broken and has gone down the channel. Here? You shouldn't do it by the trend line. I just did the Fibonacci. In this trend, if you do trend lines, they're all wrong. The trend is downtrend, but they're all wrong. It would get you errors. What's the reason? It's because your trend is going to get the Fibonacci, 78. 78, here. Your price is here. Your target is here. So it's So it's the downtrend, right?
ببندمش.
So I should close it. You have a buy?
بله بای دارم.
Yes, I do. Where is your buy
الانم تو ضررم.
position?
اجازه بدید.
It's in the loss. Where is your buy
توی در واقع
position?
این فارکس دوم.
It's in the fractal, the second fractals.
آره یه بای
Yeah.
یه بای اینجا داشتم، یه بایی هم توی
I had a
در
buy
واقع
position
بالا.
here,
بالا.
and I had a buy position in the upper
هر دو تا
highs.
ببندم.
Yeah, close it. It's not correct. You've been trading exactly in the pivots, and the pivot has been broken, and you did a buy position.
خدای سیگنال داده.
They're working in the short term. Maybe that time it has gone into profit. But if you hear it from me, the ways that you're walking in, I have paved them all. Don't work on currency pairs, like the minor ones. They're all major ones in my chart.
استاد میبخشید روی گاز هم
Excuse
برید،
me.
چون الان
Can
من
you
دیدم
do
خیلی
the
دم
gas
خیلی
chart?
بوده، اصلا نمیشه خط ترند بگیرید.
In winters, the volatility of gas goes up and the price of the gas goes up as well. So when we get close to winter, go buy gas. Let me do the gas chart.
زهرا
NG هست.
No, I don't have the gas chart. But I should have it. It's not possible that I don't have it. Yeah, I'm in the show all mode. No, but because I haven't seen it in my broker, and I didn't even pay attention to it. What's its price?
قیمتش الان
The price right now
ممیز 821
is 2.821.
2.821.
No, I don't have it. Yeah, I didn't see it in the broker. Yeah, I've seen the gas chart and I've traded on it like a few years ago. The price of it goes up in the winters. But in the oil, like my last bankruptcy was because of oil. It destroyed 800 million in 1 week. Yeah, I hate it. It was $75 and it was like this. Here. It was here. Every signal was bullish. I had like 70 lots or 80 lots. At first it was a lot less lots. The king of Arabs died and the price gone up, but it went down again. And I kept it, but I did a huge mistake that it emptied all of a sudden, and then I was in the Windsor. The chart was like it would be updated once a month. You should charge it like $2,000. Yeah, that way 800 million 2 months gone out.
میگم چند فاتحه دادی واسش؟
I was depressed. I couldn't trade anymore. I made the 800 million 2 months 2 times more. Like my original money was gone. It took me like 5 months to trade again. I had a Benz that I sold that I put it in the market, but we earned from it again. There's a thing about me that I rise up again from the ground.
یکی از سایت ها میتونید رو بکشیم برام خط روندشو.
Can you draw a trend line from another
یکی
chart,
از سایت ها نت مدیا اینا
like
دارن
Net
چارت های
Media or
ارزشی.
anything else? Trading View?
آره یه چارت میبخشید.
Excuse me. Oh, it's okay. Excuse me. As you're drawing this trend line, can you explain what hedge is? Let us reach to the trading part, then I will explain. Okay, Euro chart.
نه چارت یورو نبود گاز بود.
No, it was gas. Oh, you wanted gas?
NG بود.
It was NG.
NG بود neutral gas.
It was neutral gas. Oh, it disconnected. What part of the lesson is this? One of you told me to draw his trend line for him. Okay, okay.
استاد یه سوال
I have a question. For this broker, you wanted like water bills or telephone bills. So in your profile there will be an address. You should do that.
همین استاد درست.
Let me pull up the candle likes. What's this website right now? This is TradingView, one of the major currency pairs, and it's connected to Wall Street. Should we have an account so you can enter it? In Iran you can't open it. Okay, so the trend line.
آره خط ترندش استاد.
No, we can open it with VPN as well. The old trend line was this, and you had a pullback here as well. See? Here, you see, there's like something like a break here. Let me zoom in.
روی 4
Is it on the
ساعت
4
است.
hours? Okay. According to candlestick, it has given you a high. Do you see the shadow?
درسته؟
Yes. It has created a shadow here. This shadow means a pullback. It will go up and hit the upper wall and then drops down. And when it got down, here, it has encountered a pivot. If you pay attention, it's an 81%. It's an 81% pivot. About 100%. It's a powerful pivot here. Then you have a pullback of the price until the 61%. And it drops down again. So the new trend line,
الان
what
تو
time
چند
frame are
ساعت است؟
we in? It's daily. This is one trend line. And another trend line. Here. This is your middle trend line. From here, if it breaks, it will give you a warning
افزایشی کرده.
that your trend is uptrend now. Right now, it's because at the end, we're at the end of the winter. The gas price is a little low, but at the beginning of it, it's high. How do we know that it will break? There's no number to these strikes. The third strike is always the breakage. Imagine that there's a ball in your hand and a glass in front of you. The ball is your price and the glass is your trend line. The first time you throw it weakly and it would come back 80%. The second strike is 50%. The 50% has the possibility of breaking. And the third time, your glass will break. The third strike is always the breakage. But in the book, it said that third strike is a pullback. The first strike is 80 to 90% pullback. The second strike, you should pay attention. According to candlestick and other tools, you should factor that if it comes back or not. The third time, it will break. Isn't the first strike up in here that the trend line has started? No. The first strike, we mean here. This is a high, we don't care about it. This is the first strike. But this one, it doesn't count as the first strike because you have drawn your trend line. In the 4 hours, I didn't find any trend line. Let me see the trend line, 4 hours. So pay attention. The third strike is 80 to 9% breakouts. No, in the 4 hours we have trend line. This could be here, and this is one as well. Here. And again we have another one. The center is this. We can put it here as well. But when I put it, it would pass this shadow. I would put it here so it wouldn't pass it. And I have another one here. It's included in the 1 hour. It is selling. According to candlestick, it's a selling position. It will still go lower. So we had 2 strikes here, right? And we were waiting for the third one. In that time frame, yes. Yes. There's a drop here. It's still a drop, and when it pulls back, it will hit your major trend line. I have some examples I can show you in the chart. Thank you. You're welcome. Let me see, where did we have it? The first strike, the second, and the third one, it has broken. Look here. This was the first strike, and it's nearly here, the second strike, and on the third strike, it had a drop, and it has passed it. But the true form of trend line is this. On the third strike, it got broken. Sometimes, some places, you don't have a trend line. You see, it has dropped here, it pulled back, got rejected, and drops it again. What was the reason? What's the reason? It's our major Fibonacci. This Fibonacci. What's it? What number is it? 89 on the low. I will teach you these. I will teach you how it is. You will combine Fibonacci and trend line, and you'll see where your price gonna move next. Right now, the next price of my New Zealand is 71, where our pivots are. That's why I say do long-term trades. Because sometimes you do the trade, and when it reaches here, it gives you a lot of profit. And in the 4 hours time period, what do? You have a trend line, and it shows your elasticity, and you have a Fibonacci. Excuse me, when we draw it, it's usually fixed on these indicators. What? When we do the Fibonacci, it gets fixed on the pivots that show the indicators, like 50 and 61. Yeah. It will. Here, you can open a buying or a position when it's above this. This is your 89 Fibonacci. Your price starts going up from here. The next session, I will teach you the Fibonacci. Sometimes, if you pay attention, the price between 23 and 38, it pulls back. Sometimes between 0 and 23. It's the Fibonacci of 11. It's the low. When I teach you these, you will easily understand where your entry point is going to be. Is Zoom recording right now? Does it work? I'm recording right now. It's okay. No, I'm recording it. Can you give me yours later? Yes, I will. Yeah, I will convert it and then send it to you. So right now, I put a buy stop on my gold chart. I put it above my pivot. So if my pivot breaks, it will be open for me. This is the trend line. I will find the lowest highs. And one is here. Excuse me, can you explain this trend line again? The trend line, whenever you see two highs that have some lows, that has an A or V, or some candles that has long shadows like this one. It has formed a V top, and the minor one is this. Has formed a V top. Whenever you saw a V top and a V bottom, know that there's a trend line. Look at this trend line right here. Let me fix it. Look where your price is pulled back. It's in the pivot. Exactly. I said the walls of the trend line are the pivot. So your price wouldn't hit here that doesn't have any pivots. I just stick to the rules. Whenever your price hits the trend line, there is a pivot. And this is my pivot. A powerful pivot I have. I have one here. I have a low here. We've got 4 types of pivot. I have a closing and opening of the candle pivot. So, see how beautifully it has hit my trend line walls and it has pulled back. You have the right to buy here, where I put the buy stop. When does it passes your buy stop? When will my buy stop break? If my tonight's candle finishes like this, tomorrow will be a drop. But if it finishes higher like this zone, 99% it will break and go up. Everything depends on tonight. According to the buy stop you put, it's close to that pivot, right? It's above the pivot. I know, but it's close to it. So if it activates your order and then drops it down again, what if that happens? We had that kind of thing. It hits it and then pulls back. And the next candle will be decreasing. How do we know? From the Fibonacci. Look here. My 78 of Fibonacci is here. This is my 78. I will draw my Fibonacci so you won't confuse it. Because you don't have Fibonacci here, I didn't do them. The time I will do is when my pivot breaks. So when my pivot breaks, means my price should get the low. I'm saying it must get the low. But the low is here right now. When it opens this low, the next low. So why did I put buy stop here? That other low has a fractals. Do we count them? It doesn't have anything to do with fractals. I thought the only ones that have fractals, they would count. No, 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 no. The fractals rule is not like this. So, whenever you saw a candle that has a long shadow, means it's a high and the closing of the price. A shadow that is longer than the body of the candle. The fractals is not showing this, that whenever there's a fractals, there's a high. Sometimes you see there's 2 fractals on the side of each other, but the price has opened them. They're not showing the high. Don't even think about the fractals right now. The only usage of fractals is that it shows your highs, so we'll see by eye. If my candle creates a shadow longer than its body, like this, it's a high. I will know that this next signal will be a down signal. I know that it's a high. Right now, you shouldn't even do buying positions right now. You shouldn't even do sell as well. Because it's about to end the market's hours. you should see how the candle gets finished after the drop. After the drop. I say that this candle is really important. If it finishes a few millimeters upper or down, it makes so much difference. If it a few millimeters upper or down, or if it finishes alongside with another candle or in a pivot, it makes so much difference. When my candle in this state finishes, this next signal will be a drop or a down signal. So, or when it comes up a little, it's a little suspicious, so you should wait so the price opens it from the bottom. But if it finishes like this, I just do a buy position there. But if it goes up a little, it will be suspicious. So I don't have the right to to put sell stop here. If we change the time frame of the gold chart, will it show that, like, if we go on the weekly candles, the weekly is in pivots. It was Monday, right? I told you to buy here, and I told you to take profit here. So you shouldn't see the 2 weekly time frame. You have the right to see it like that when you are on Monday, not at Friday or Thursday. Every time frame you should look at it from the beginning, like 4 hours from the beginning. Excuse me. I will tell you this technique right now. According to trend line, I have this example of a trend line. Whenever I see a high or a candle with the shadows, if anyone correct this trend line, I will charge his account $1,000. I connect the shadow of this candle, to the edge of the next candle. Edge of the next candle. I will update it. You said the next high, right? Yes, yes. I will update it. I don't have a high here, so whenever my price gets further from a trend line, I should update it. So the edge of this candle has a shadow, has a really little shadow. I connected to the edge of the next candle. Okay? Until the time, excuse me, next candle doesn't have a body. No, not this one. It was inside. Can you zoom in a bit? This was in the belly of that next candle. Don't consider this one. Candle that finishes in the belly of the next candle, we don't consider it. Like it isn't even there. Just because it has finished in the belly of the candle, should we not consider it? Yes. The candle that finishes in the belly of the next candle, it's not important. We shouldn't even consider having it. It's in the belly of it. It's inside it. It's like 1 millimeter above it. 1 millimeter is not important. You see this? It has finished in the candle, right? Oh, you considered with the shadow. The candle has finished inside another candle, like this one, or like this one. The candles that passes each other, they are the normal candles. If 4 candles finishes inside one, they don't count as well? Yes. See, I have updated it, and I see whenever it gets further from your trend line, you should update it. And it has a little edge. like here. I didn't consider it because it
اگه
has
شادو هم نداشت
finished
نمی‌دیدیم
in the
استاد.
belly of that candle. If it didn't have that little shadow, the most of the time it has it. Rarely it doesn't have it. Here, it connected to this. While my price is above my trend line, I should do buy positions. When my trend line breaks, you should exit and do selling positions. When you go to selling positions, you should get signals again. Now I will do it from the past to present.
تقریبا ثبت روی مووینگ اوریج استاد درسته؟ آره شبیه اونه.
Look here. I imagine that I don't have these candles. You should have two candles. At least you should have two candles. This shadow connects to the edge of this candle. And the candle that is on the trend is not considered as a break out. Okay. Exactly. This candle and this candle. How many pips? 129 pips. I had a profit from it. And this candle has made the trend change. Later you will learn the candlestick and you will combine them and you will find your exit sooner. The next candle after the exit, you should do your next trade. Excuse me, can you explain it for the selling as well? I will. This candle has finished. This too has finished. This candle, what's the next? We would do a selling here. When it exited, you should close your trade. You must not keep it. What? Weren't there two lines? Why did you draw one? Aren't you telling us the trade technique? In that technique, shouldn't we draw two lines? That was for the update. This is for our update. Whenever your candles, the first one was this, right? Isn't it in distance with your price? So if it was further from it, the one line would be enough. Can you trade with it so we can see? Now close your market. Its validation degree, how much is it? It doesn't have any errors. You should just ambush for it. You have to check it all the time. Like this is get drawn to the edge of that next candle. Until my price is above the trend line, I have buy. If it exits, I should close my buying position. You mean wait for it to close? Yes, you mean wait for it to offset. If it is on the trend line, it doesn't consider it as a break. Should it completely break the trend line? Yes. Sometimes the candle really goes out, but sometimes it's on the line. So it's not considered as a break. It's not even a warning? Warning? No. Because if you learn candlestick, you will know. This one has formed outside of it. Can we trade in longer time frames? Yes, you can. The longer your time is, the more powerful it is. So we can't decide. Yeah, it has formed outside of it, so we should wait until this candle ends and it creates a signal. It's probably going to be bullish, but you shouldn't decide on it. You should wait until it finishes and then get a signal. Whenever in the market you say, I will draw this line. It formed on the outside and gone up, didn't it? When there's a sideways trend, you must not pass it. The trends are not like sideways, just do it. Do whatever you want. You want to see what's gonna happen. Like this is not a buying signal. Yes, it has formed outside. You can't say that it's a buy signal, but you should wait and draw it from top to bottom again. The two candles should be finished. One is finished, but the other is not still finished. You should wait until the candle gets finished. This was sideways here, right? You should wait for the candle to finish to know what type of line should we draw next. Let me show you the past of the market. I draw this to the edge of the next candle. They were in the belly of each other, but this one. They were inside of each other as well. Until my price is above my trend line, it's enough. This candle to the edge of this candle. Which one got formed outside? This one. And it dropped down. Where should we enter for a buying position? Let me pull up a market. This is sideways. I want to pull up a market that isn't sideways. I want a market that forms like quickly. To this. Right now, I know that while my price is above my trend line, I have buying positions. I will test it. Can you zoom in a bit? Yes. I put stop loss under my trend line. It means that if a candle forms outside the trend line, my trend line has failed. You will test it in its 15 minutes time period. I will pull up another chart to test another one. Here. This one. Connected to this one. Isn't my price under my trend line? Yes. Correct. I do a selling position. Can we, with this technique alone, can we do trades? You can, but it will drive you mad. Like you should check every single one of the highs. You can make your time longer. If you make your time frame longer, you can do it. Let me do it again. Excuse me, this technique can be used for scalping as well, right? Yes, but it will really trouble you. With this technique, you should, alongside it, you should learn candlestick. Get the warning sooner that it wants to break or not. Like here, the trend change will give you a high up signal. Because you don't know candlesticks, just use trend line. What's our next price? It would be New Zealand. Like here, according to candlestick, there is a trend change. Look here, whenever, while my price is above the trend line, I have buy positions. When it gets outside of it, I should close my buy position and get out of it. I should wait until 2 candles from the top gets finished. And when it gets finished, draw my trend line until it's under my trend line. Here, it's finished, and we connect it to the edge of this. While it's under my trend line, I had selling positions. How many pips I can get? Here is the exit. About 85. I can get 85 pips from here to here. How do we count the pips? How do you count the pips? The technique that you used right now, what was it like? It's the tools that I used. Here that it is 117, it's 11 pips. The last number shouldn't be read. Like here, from left, there's this number, is the number of the candles. We have 11 candles from here to here. There's 11 candles. So it's the same number as your pips. It would be 21 pips. The last number is the price that your mouse is on. How do you count your profit now? You have made one lot. Each pip is $10. You multiply 10 by 22, would be $220. Did you get it? No. How to get it? Like, when we start trading, how many pips does it give you profit? From here. Here. I do a selling position here. Okay? I do a selling position, and the next candle, it exits. And I exit here. From here to here, I have profit. Like here, I made this, right? What? It's the starting point to the ending point. It's 8 to 10 pips because I'm in short-term time frame. I could be in the 4 hours and have more pips. Like here to here. Start from this candle until here that I update my trend line would be 85 pips. When I update my trend line, it would be like, it's not my wide, it's all the prices gets wide. It exited here, right? I exit here. Like here. Didn't this exit get created? No, you should not open a selling position again. It would be this. This is the worst hour for doing buying a position. The price is wide. What does that mean? It means your spread is wide. It should be like 3 pips or 3 points. It's about like 2 pips and a half. It should be like 3 or 4 points. Points, not pips. If you put the stop loss, it would break it. Right now, your new trend line would be this. Can you see this? This technique for a trend line, which hours do you recommend? 4 hours. 4 hours time period. Whatever I teach you works on 4 hours. Like, no, on the clock. Your price wouldn't be wide. You should be aware that your trend wouldn't be sideways. the market is not crowded right now. Your market is sideways. So the best would be like 9 a.m. until 12 a.m. and again from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. These are the best hours for it.
استاد الان اینجا با
With
این
this
پترن
technique,
که
we can
سایت
have
اکس
5
داره
positions,
دیگه.
right? Yes. But it's sideways. Look how far it is. If it wants to come here, my deal will be like 0. In these hours, you should not trade. Because your spread is wide and your trend is sideways. I put it here, but it came on here. You use this technique from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the evening, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tell me you've seen errors in it. For this reason, I will charge your account.
برای ساعت نیم 6 ماه اول
For the first 6 months of the year, we should move the clocks 1 hour forward, right? No. The clocks would change itself. I take our own time zone, not the clock of the market. I don't know what clock it is. 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. You're in the market of the America, right? So the market of America, I think, opens at 6 a.m.
استاد تو این حرفن با پیوت ها دیگه کار نداریم نه؟
In this technique, we don't have anything to do with pivots, right? Yeah, I will teach you. The first thing is the trend line.
توی حرفن منظورم آنها.
In this technique, we just work with candlesticks, not pivot. The candlesticks makes the signals sooner and make me exit sooner. It makes the trend change or high here, so I will know that it will drop. So I exit sooner. Until the next candle would form outside. I don't have anything to do with pivot now. Whenever you want, I will draw it for you. Past, I will draw it for you. Exactly on the edge of the next candle. While my price is under my trend line, selling.
منظور نقطه ورود کجا ورود کنیم این یه مقدار الان
I mean the entry point. Here, this candle. This one. This one is in the inside this candle right now. Don't consider this. I have drawn it from here. Let me zoom in. I've drawn it from here to the edge of this, meaning it has finished. So I enter here. I enter here. Here is the selling position. Selling, selling, selling. Under the trend line. And here it is outside. But if you know the candlestick, that this candle is overlapping because it is finished in pivots. Just the trend line. How many pips I can profit from it? 20 pips. In the 5 minutes, I can have profit of 20 pips. Next, I will connect this to this. Is this a good technique for scalping? Yes, you can use it in the scalping, but only the time you're successful with it, that the scalping gets you good candles. The thing that I said gives you profit quickly is scalping by candlestick. I have profited 6 pips from here. Is it demo or real account? It's a real trading account. And again, it's a sideways. I must not draw in it. I should not draw it in a sideways trend. You said evening from what hour to on? 4 p.m. to like 9 p.m. And the maximum 10 p.m. Like you see here, this is connected to this in the 30 minutes time frame. While it's under the trend line, I do buy. Let it update. No, it hasn't updated yet. Oh, it has. Where did it go? This is sideways. We shouldn't do it. We go to longer time frame to make it not sideways. No, my network connection is weak a little because some websites are open. They update. It's updated late. Right now, I should wait for this candle to finish. For example, it has finished. I connect this to the edge of this, and the next candle starts working from here. While it's above my trend line, it's buy positions. When it gets out of it, I should close my buying positions. In Dow Jones, the profit is low. It would work better. In Dow Jones, your pivot should be good. It will work in Dow Jones. It doesn't make no difference. Here is sideways. I can't draw on it. I connect this to the edge of the next. It hasn't stopped working yet. And the next. You had this candle and this candle. You should exit in this candle. You could have 759 pips. If you know candlesticks, because it's finished in a pivot, it's overlapping and it goes down again. But you don't know candlestick yet, so it's like your trade has exited with 0. You should combine this technique with candlestick. For now, learn this. When we got to the candlestick topic, we combine it. You cannot make an error with it. The most professional people have checked on it. Can we test this technique with real trading account? I'm testing now. I mean us. No. You should completely learn it. You're learning now. When your second term finishes, you go to the real trades. I change the time of your classes and switch it to where there's high volatility. We will decide about it later. Look. Right now, the edge of this candle, I connect it to the edge of that candle. And the longer time frame. Let me update it. The time of 1 minute. This candle is kind of exiting. This candle has finished outside, right? I must not do buy positions. It will drop again. But it's for 1 minute, and its number is would be like this, almost like this. So we should wait until the next candle finishes and forms. If it it has formed at the outside. When it starts, you should close it. When it finishes, you should draw your new line like this. I mean the new line. Until the second candle has not been finished, we should not do any orders. When it finishes, you can start opening orders.
شبیه اتومبیل دنده‌ای که ما با اتوماتیک ارتقا داده شدیم.
Like oh, spread is not that wide. I did a buy here. Let me test it now. No, the spread is really wide. it should come to here so my negative would
اشتباهی اصلا توی
get
ساعت
straight.
معامله کردن اشتباهه.
But the spread is why trading is wrong. If it was a good hour, you should be in profit now. But my spread is really wide.
استاد الان روی اون پیوت اون
On that
قدیم
pivot,
قیمت
it's not, the price is not on the last pivot. No, it has broken it. It is broke. It depends what you see as a pivot. You have four types of pivot. No, three types. We have high pivot, shadow pivot, we have the low pivot, we have an open and closing of a candle pivot. That they're in the same direction. I should teach you these. I want to scalp with candlestick right now. This signal is bullish, and it makes my candle go up. If it passes here, it will fail. If it passes the edge of the shadow, it will fail. It hasn't passed it yet. The candlestick is like this. Each candle that gets finished gives you a signal. But that is for like the last topics of your class. Don't ever do trades in these hours. It's really wrong. Like, get up at like 4 a.m. and do trades then. This exit got ended. It should go up. Wait for the candle to finish, and then we'll update it. It's sideways. We can't update it. The exit got ended. Your trend line is not valid anymore. Do it in a long-term period of time. If you do that, it would give you signals easier. It wouldn't trouble you. But if you do short-term and do scalp, if you want to do that, your prices shouldn't be wide. Like, it's 4 pips, it's too much. Like, it should get here, so my negative would be a 0. But if you do in the long-term time period, like if I do it in the next, the exit got created here. If I connect this to here, I can get this candle as a profit and exit here. But if I do scalp, you have the right to do it, that your prices are not wide. It does give you a bullish signal, and you do your buying. You have to make your negative straight. And when you want to do that, it empties all at once. This, it doesn't give us a firm forecast of the future. You have entered now, but in the next candle the trend got changed. Because the hours is not good. You shouldn't trade in these hours. You should do it in the market like this. No, you said that this technique doesn't have any errors. I said we shouldn't do this technique in sideways trend. Your trend is sideways now. Like in 4 hours it's not sideways, but in lower time frames it's sideways. Where should I draw this line? I should connect this to this, but my trend is sideways and it's moving like this. For making it out of being sideways, I go to 4 hours connect this to this, and then get my signals. I would open my buying position and leave it open.
خب من سوالم اینه
My question
تو
is
همین
this.
ساعت تو همین
In
تایم
this hour, in this
ممکنه هر
time,
لحظه
like
کندل
each
بعدی
moment is possible
روند رو عوض کنه
to your trend to be changed. That's why you should do it in the short time frames. In one condition that your trend is sideways. The sideways trend is like this. So some candles have been created in front of each other. If I draw this line to this body, it will break, and it will break and come inside. And if I do it from the bottom, it will happen like this. Can you pull up the last market that was like in bearish? It would be like this. No, in that former time frame.
نه همون تایمی که الان داشتیم صحبت می‌کردیم
No, the time that we were talking about. This
نه
was
نه
this.
قبلیش نیست
No, no, no. The last
نه
one.
قبلیش عذر می‌خوام
It's the last one.
نه اینم نبود
The one before.
همین
This
خب
one, this one.
برگردید رو به عقب من موس منو ندارید شما نه
You don't have my mouse, you know? Let me access you. What's your ID?
عرفان 2958
You have access now.
ببینید اینجا من
Look,
منظورمه
I mean
من
here.
الان از اینجا خب نه سوالم اینه اینجا
My
من
question
الان
is
خط
this.
میکشم از اینجا به اینجا
I connect the line
فرض
from here
بر
to
میگیرم
here,
که
and I
اینجا من در
imagine
واقع
that I've entered the market like here.
شدم پشت سیستم نشستم طبق این خط روند من
According to
الان
this
اینجا
trend
میگم آقا این
line,
خط
I
نشست
say
خوب
that I
دارم
have a really good
سه
bearish
درصد
line. No, wait. Draw it. Choose the trend line and draw it. Okay.
حالا منظور من اینجاها
I
متوجه
mean,
شدم اومدم پشت سیستم نشستم
in this
فهمیدم
zone,
خطم نزولی وارد
I
بازار
started
میشه
it.
درسته
And I see that my
کندل بعدی
signal is
روند عوض شد
bearish and I
من از
enter the
کجا بدونم
market.
که این
But
کندل
there's a trend
بعدی
change now.
منفی یا
How do I
عوض
know
بشه
that my
من
next
سوالم
candles would change trends or
بله
they will
اینجاست
stay the same? Didn't it form outside? So do you think that when I say it's formed outside, should you do trades or not? You should not do trades. You should get the new signal. You should wait for the outside candle to finish, and the next one also finishes, and then you draw the new trend line. Like this. Wasn't it from the bottom again? It finished outside the trend. It did. You should close your selling. You started late. It got formed outside the trend. And this one also finished. So I connect this to this and draw this. I exit here. So I wait for it to finish. Connect this to this. I have a buy here and a buy. And I exit on this. The best way is not to lose it. Wherever you see that there's a high and the next one also finishes, you can get it.
چطور استاد یه بار دیگه بگید؟
How? Can you explain one more time? And if it was like a candle with a shadow got created and it finished, and the next candle also finished. It's the beginning. When you don't get to the beginning, this has created a shadow. You should see what the next candle is like. This is your fault that you have entered the work from the middle. You shouldn't blame it on this. You should blame it on yourself. I'm telling you what the tricks are. Whenever you saw a candle with a shadow and the next one also got ended, it should be higher. It should get finished higher than this one. You should draw it then. draw it.
از کجا اون وقت باید بگیری؟
Now where is it that we should consider?
از اینجا
From here.
این
You have this
کندو
candle,
داری،
and
این
this
کندو
one,
داری، این
and this
کندو هم
one,
داری، این
and this
کندو،
one.
این کندو خروج کرده.
This one is the
این که
exit.
خروج کرده
This one that has
بعدیش
been
ورود
exited.
دیگه اینجا دیگه شروع کرده به ریزش.
There was a
این که
cell
ریزش
before,
کرده این یکی رو
and
رفت
it
تو
drops
کاری
down
بگیر.
again. When it drops
این دو تا
down,
تو
you
یک
should connect
مسیره.
this to this.
وقتی
They're in
تو
the
یک
same way.
مسیره شما باید جلوترین رو بگیری.
You should get the most
پس شروعش یک
further.
قوانین خاصی داره دیگه.
So the start of it has
100%.
some
الان ببینید
special
در
rules.
4 ساعت من همین قوانین
So in the
دیگه
4
گرفتم.
hours, I stick to the rules.
این 4
Look,
ساعته من.
this is my 4 hours.
اینجا میگم من که دقیقاً ابتدایم.
Exactly in the beginning. This to
این
this.
کندل هم شکل وارد فروش
This
شدم.
candle got formed.
وارد فروش شدم.
I entered the selling.
زیر خطم فروشمو دارم. معاملاتم
Whenever I'm under the trend line, I do selling position.
زمانی باید
The time you should get it is when
ابتدای
you
اون
are in the
کندل
beginning
باشی.
of that
این
candle,
شادو و اون کندلی بعد که تموم
like the
میشه.
next candle that has been finished. If it's higher, this candle should get a little lower, so you could draw it. If it hasn't been finished, you can't draw it. It's sideways. You can't use sideways. It's always, you make all errors, because it would break your trend line. When it finishes lower, it's not sideways.
این روی همه نمادها جواب میده استاد.
On all the graphics, does it work? Yes. You can test it. I do it on a real trading account in the 4 hours. But like in the time frame of like 5 minutes. But in 5 minutes, our trend line breaks over and over again because it's sideways. I connected this to this, and it got broken again. I connected this to this again, and it got broken again because the trend is sideways.
عمومی این طرفا شخصی خودتونه یا
This technique is for you yourself?
اساتید دیگه هم هست؟
No, it's a technique of my own. I haven't called it anything yet. The time you want to get it out of sideways, and you don't want to have it the sideways, just make your time frame longer. Draw your line there. Right now it was sideways, right? I go higher a little in the time frame, and I draw my line without any errors.
استاپ گذاشتن اینو توضیح میدید یه بار
Can you
استاپشو کجا بذارید؟
explain about putting stops whenever the candle forms outside the line? Like, can we put it from the beginning? No, you should like sit behind it and check it. You should get signals from candle to candle, and the candle that is on the trend line doesn't show breakout. It shows a breakout when it forms outside the trend line. Like it starts working outside the trend line. Why should we like check it if it is like 4 hours? Why do I sit for checking it? I would go and like come back 4 hours later. But am I not in the 4 hours right now? Maybe in the 4 hours it gone up and like gone outside of it, the trend line. Yes. If you're in the beginning of the 4 hours, you should just leave it. Or like in the daily, you're in the beginning of the day, you can just leave it be. But if you're in 5 minutes or 15 minutes, you should check it all the time. It depends on your time frame. The time that you enter. Because I've tested it. I've used it so many times. But because like before I don't have free time, I can't use it. It would be in the profit, but like if I don't pay attention, it would exit. But it would work whenever in the market. Even here. Until it's above my trend line, I did a buy position. I drew it here because they're in the same direction. When they're in the same direction, get the one in the front. So you would get out of being sideways. I entered here, there would be buy here and here,
فروش میکنیم.
and this sell begins here.
73
Like 73
اینجا
pips.
فروش میکنم.
I exit
دوباره
here.
میام بعدی رو
Again, the
اینو
next one,
میزنم.
I draw it like this.
این یکی تموم میشه، این یکی شروع به کار میکنه.
This one finishes, and this one starts working. It starts working on the trend line. So you should pay attention that this one has started working on the trend line. So you should wait to see where it goes. Don't reaction too fast. What would you do? When this candle finished, you consider this until the edge of this. It's sideways now.
هر چقدر شادو بیشتر باشه بهتره.
So when your shadow is longer, if you find a candle with a shadow, it's really awesome.
این من به اینجا زدم.
I connected this to this
اینجا زد. تا زمانی که زیر خطم هست من فروش دارم.
until it's under my trend line. I have a selling.
دیگه مشکل خودمه دیگه. اگه اون
But if it exits here, it's my own problem. You can make the best selling positions.
همون به
اینجا
Here,
اینا سایده ها.
they're all
هر جا من
sideways.
میگم، هر جا قله دیدی
Whenever you saw
کندل بعدش
high
پایین‌تر تموم شد.
that the next candle for finished lower, you can draw it.
اینجا مثلا قله نمی‌بینم.
Here, I don't
ساده
see a high. There's no shadow.
ولی یه دونه بیشتر
You
نمی‌تونی.
just can get one.
همون بهتره که بین
better
صبح ساعت 9
to be like
12 انجام بدیم.
Between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. because we don't have a sideways trend in that time.
استاد عذر می‌خوام اینجا من
Excuse
سوال
me.
بهتر میتونم بپرسم. الان
Can I ask you a better question?
یه دونه کلیک کنیم.
Click.
بسته می‌بینید؟
Do you see my mouse?
طبق گفته شما
According to what you said, the best entry point was this. Correct.
الان هر لحظه احتمال داره یعنی
So-
هر لحظه که این کندل اصلا ممکنه خارج تمام بشه دیگه.
This candle may finish outside.
خب من میدونم خروج کنین نه خارج
No.
بسته بشه.
I
من
mean,
سوالم اینه
it
شما
would
میگی تا
end
کندل
outside.
خارج از خط روند
You
بسته
said you
نشه،
don't have
شما
the time to
خروج نداره.
exit until the candle outside the trend line finishes.
نه همون تایم 4 ساعته رو من
No, I mean the
تایم
4-hour time period.
خروجش
Like
بیشتر
its exit would be too
آره،
much.
الان این کندل بیاد
Like
اینجا تموم بشه.
the candle finishes
میشه
here.
ضرر دیگه.
It would be lost, right?
خروج کنم دیگه.
Yeah, I should exit.
خب، من در واقع الان میخوام ببینم این
I want to know
ترفند
that this technique,
نه تا زمانی ببین این
No,
الان
no.
حالتی که من دارم
this
حالت ساده
state that I
بلند
have,
و کندل
the
بعدی
long
پایین‌تر
shadow
شدم.
and
خب؟
my candle have finished lower than this, it would reach where I've put the take
یعنی
profit.
مطمئنی؟
So it's definite? Yes. Because I'm combining it with candlestick. Because you still haven't learned
ببینید
candlestick.
اینجا رو من الان ببینید
با کندلستیک ترکیب میشه.
I'm just combining it with candlestick.
آره دارم.
خب اینجا رو نگاه کنین الان
Look
فرض
at
کنید
here.
من اینجا رو خط
We
کشیدم.
imagine that I drawn the line here.
اینجا
Here.
خب
Okay?
از اول بزن پاچ.
خب
You're
اونجا
clear.
سایده و اصلا نباید بزنیم.
نه نه دیگه قله است دیگه قله
No, there's a high there.
آدم نیست.
Where did the next candle finish?
اینجا
Here.
درسته؟
Okay.
الان طبق این من
Now,
وارد
according to
بازار
this, I enter the market. No, why would you enter the market right now? You connected 1 to 2. You should enter at 3. Didn't it start forming outside the trend line? No, it's on the trend line. No, no, no. It's outside the trend line.
آن یعنی گپ داشته این
So there was a gap here. No, there was no gap. It's just outside the trend line. Like, could you please charge our account $1,000 like this?
جناب استاد
اینقدر گیر ندیم.
آقای عبداللهی
Mr. Abdullahi,
همین خطی که دوستمون کشید
this line that our friend drew,
شما فرمودید
you said
کندل دوم که
the
تشکیل
second
شد،
candle, when it
بسته
got
شد،
formed,
ما میتونیم
we
پوزیشن ما
we can
مشخص
find
کنیم،
out
درسته؟
what our position is. Right, right.
کندل دوم
So
بسته شده.
the second candle has been finished.
پوزیشنش هم میتونیم باید طبق گفته شما
According to you,
گرفتیم، درسته؟
we should have got our position there.
اون
Which
خطی
which
نداره.
line?
خطی که دوستمون
The line that
کشید.
our
خب
friend
که
drew.
کندلش بیرون تشکیل شده.
The line that our friend drew, its candle was outside the trend line. We can't even
دوم که
enter it.
زیرش تشکیل شده.
But the second candle was under it.
میشه خط رو رسم می‌کنی.
When the second candle finishes, you just then draw the line. Like this one that I've drawn. The second candle has finished, and I entered on the third candle. Oh, okay.
کندل پایانی داشته باشیم.
You should have two ending candles.
کندل دوم ما وارد بشیم.
So we can enter on the second candle.
کندل دوم فقط خط تا میکشیم.
We just draw the line with the second candle. Yes. I should have two ending candles. Other than this, your candle should have a shadow. And two, if the shadow candle is on top, your second candle should be lower. 3. Your third candle that is forming should be under your trend line. Then you can do your selling positions. If it forms outside the trend line, you should wait until you can draw the line again. Right here where your mouse is. Right now, the candle with the shadow, you put the beginning of the line there, right? The second candle, when it got formed, you drew your line. Yes. You entered. When the second candle finished, and you entered the selling position. Yes. But the trend line that our friend drew, he said that we should wait until the third candle finishes, then do it. Why did I say it should be finished? Because this third candle started working outside the trend. When it starts working outside the trend, you should stop. And the other thing is that it's sideways. It's for like night or in the noon. You should wait until the candle finishes to see what line you have. The higher the candle is, it's better, right? Yeah. The higher the shadow is, the validation is better. Okay. When does it get into sideways mode? Like at the night or at noon? If your third candle is under your trend line, you can do selling positions. The classes were until 12 p.m. but I have a question. You have connected this high to that second candle. We imagine that we are not moving according to this technique. If a high gets formed, we should enter the position at the third candle. Oh. So other than this, we should enter at the third candle. When you have two ending candles, meaning there is a third candle started working. The basis is two candles. You should have two finished candles. So we can say that after the second candle finishes, we can open orders and open our positions. If the third candle is under the trend line. Yes. Practice this in the demo accounts, but not in these hours. In the 9 a.m. or in the evening. I have a question. Could you tell us in which times the market is at its best? It's 4 p.m. until 9 p.m. And if you want to do it in the morning, it would be 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
تایم مارکت ها رو میشه بگی مثلا کی باز میشن کی بسته میشن؟
Can you say what time does the market opens or closes? It's in Europe.
مارکت
So,
ساعت 3:30 میشه فکر کنم 3:30 ظهر میشه مارکت
I think
لندن اگه اشتباه نکنم
3 p.m. London market
فکر
opens.
میکنم 3:30 یه سایتی بودش ساعت
There
مارکت
was
ها
a
رو زد
site that
اسم
had
سایتش
the
عوض
time of opening of the
جان
اینا
markets.
استاد با یه سرچ ساده توی گوگل حله میتونن پیدا کنن. بعضی
So you can
سوالات
search in the
اصلا
Google.
خیلی وقت گیرن.
ببین شما یه کار کنید
Do
ساعتی
something.
که میخواین ترید کنین
The hour you want to trade in,
بهترین
the
ساعت 4:30
best
ظهر
is
صبح شما ترید
4:30
نکنید
p.m.
حالا
Don't
برای
trade in the
میخواین
morning.
صبح ترید بکنین 9:30 به بعد ترید
And
کنین
if you want to do
چرا که
trade in the
کندلستیک
morning, do it
توفیقتون
from
با
9 a.m. and on.
روند
Why?
شکل گرفته میخواد یه
Because the
روند
candlesticks
جدیدی
and
شکل
pivots,
ببره یعنی
their
یا
trends have been
افزایش
created.
یا
So it's
کاهش
either bullish
اینجوری
or
نیست رفت و
bearish.
برگشت باشه
It's not like it's going to go back and
شما
forth.
زمانی از دست میدین و پولاتون رو تو رفت و برگشت از دست میدین
You
ولی
lose your
وقتی که
money in the back
دارین
and forth
روند
kind of
داخلی
way.
باشین یعنی ساعت 4:30 یا 5:30
But if you be
روندش
in the
یا
market,
افزایشه یا کاهشه
it would be either bullish or
میشه
bearish.
موجی
منظورتون استاد
جان
4:30 صبح منظورتونه؟
نه
No, 4 p.m., not 4 a.m.
الان بازارتون که 1 ساعت اومده جو 5:30
It would be like 5 p.m. right
بفهمه
now.
که توی چه جفت
Which
ارزی مناسب تر هست.
currency pairs are more suitable? The major ones. The ones that have dollar in them.
اصلا نرین یورو به استرالیا یورو
Don't
به
like
پوند به ین
do
اینا رو
like
اصلا
pound to
معامله
yen
نکنین
or euro to
اشتباهی
Australian dollar. Don't do it. It's wrong.
الان ببینید
استاد
این
حالا
هم
آخرین
بزنم این میشه ببینید
Like if I do it, it would be
من راحت
this.
میتونم روی فروش کنم
I can easily open a selling position here,
بازم زیر خطم هست فروش
and it's under my trend line as well.
استاد یه سوال الان
I have a
که
question.
اومدید خط
You have
زدید خب
drawn the line right now.
قبلیه
Yes.
کو قبلیه رو بیارید بی زحمت.
Can you pull up the last one?
اینم داره اینم هست
This one also has it.
نه
This.
قبلیه
اینم
No, no, no.
میخوام بگم اینم هست
I want to explain about this one as well.
بالاخره این کندل
I connect this
سوم
to the edge
درست
of this, and the third
میخوام
one
یه لات پای بدم
has started working. I can do one lot buying.
کانادا
This one,
همین
this
همین
one.
همین خب
Okay.
خب
میشه درشتر
Can
بکنید.
you zoom in a bit?
سلام خوبی چک
ببخشید الان اینا زدید خب اینا
You
من
have drawn this
خطش
line right now.
متوجه شدم.
I
الان
have
کندل
understood this
دوم
one.
که بسته شده
And the second candle that has been finished, it was a descending candle.
خب
Okay.
کلوز کندل دومی
The
ما اونجا
closing of the
پوزیشن
second
سه را
candle,
باید بگیریم
we
درسته؟
should do the selling position there.
نه نه
right?
نه بالا
No, no, no.
اینجا
On the top.
این کلوز کندل
The close of the
سه که
candle,
داریم
the
کندل
second
بلنده
candle, the long one.
دومین
The second
کندل
candle,
ما اونجا یه
we
پوزیشن سل میگیریم
open a
درسته؟
selling position there, right?
یه
Yes.
مقدار پول بک میکنه بعد میریزه پایین.
It pulls back and drops down.
درسته
It's correct, yes.
حد خب مسئله بعدی میمونه که
The other
چقدر
thing
میتونه
is
بره
how much you can go
از زمان که خارج تشکیل شد
until it forms outside of the
تا
trend.
خارج نرفته میتونیم
Until it
داشته
is
باشیم.
not outside of the trend, we can leave the position open.
استاپا کجا
Where do we
بذاریم
put
اگر
the
با هم
stops?
کندل اولیه
If we
شروع
entered
کردیم؟
with the first candle,
میتونه معمولا
you should check it like again and again. Usually it would be here.
باید بشینی پاش یعنی عدد ضرر عدد سود باید بشینی پاش
You should be behind the screen to find the stop loss and take profit.
بعد اینجا یه دفعه خالی میشه
Maybe gone up and empties from here, and your stop loss has been broken.
این که حالا اینجا
When
فاصله
it
میگیره
gets
خطی
far
باید
from
راه
here,
بری.
you should update your trend line.
استاد جسارتا کلاس بعدی کیه؟
When is the next session?
پنجشنبه امروز
And it's Thursday here
سه‌شنبه
would be Tuesday.
شنبه چه ساعتی؟
What
سه‌شنبه ساعت ده یا
what
سه‌شنبه
time?
ساعت ده.
The usual time.
خب، بیاین دو
Okay.
ساعت.
هفته 2 جلسه ما کلاس داریم دیگه.
We have 2
شنبه و
sessions
پنجشنبه.
this week. Yes,
بعدش
Tuesday and
یک دست بهشون
Thursday.
اضافه کنم. من کلاس خصوصی تموم بشه
When
یک دست بهشون
my
اضافه
private classes
دوشنبه،
ends,
چهارشنبه، جمعه.
it would be, your classes would be Tuesday,
ببینید دوستان، خط
Wednesday,
ترنتون رو
and
کار کنید.
Friday.
قشنگ
So
بهتون یاد
practice your trend
بدم.
lines,
تمرین کن، ویدیو هم براتون میفرستم.
and I will
این
send you
فقط رو
videos.
دمو کار
Practice
کنید.
these
یعنی رو
techniques on
کلاس هم
demo
کندلستیک یاد
account.
ندارین ها.
But don't go on real
گروه
training
توی
account
تلگرام می‌فرستید
یه
یا
گروه
because you
گروه؟
don't
براتون
know
میسازم، یه گروه
candlestick
تلگرام
yet.
براتون میسازم، همه بچه‌ها جون میشن اونجا، ویدیو داخلمو میذارم. سوالاتتون هم
I
میتونید
will
اونجا
make a group
طرح
chat
کنید،
and I
جواب
will
بدید،
send
حرف اشکالاتتون رو.
the videos there and you can
ماشاءالله.
ask any
ببخشید
questions
استاد،
and
این
get
ویدیو رو
answers.
انشالله کی میذاری؟ چون فردا هم
ویدیو
که
رو
جمعه
امشب
است.
براتون
When will
میفرستم.
you put the videos? Send the videos?
کی؟
امشب تو گروه براتون گروه میسازم،
Tonight. I will make a
براتون
group
میفرستم.
chat.
دست شما درد نکنه.
Thank
بعد
you.
فعلا توی تلگرام میذارم، بعدا توی
In the
سایت قرار
Telegram,
گرفته میشه، از
then
این
it will
سایت
be on the
میتونید
site and you can see it on the website.
این گروه عمومیه درسته
This
استاد؟
group chat is public,
نه
right? No, it's not.
گروه بچه وبینارم،
It's
کسی
just the
اضافه
webinar
نیست.
students.
ویدیو هم فقط
No one
فعلا
more.
تا سایت آماده
The
نشده
videos will be on
توی
Telegram
تلگرام قرار گرفته میشه،
until the
بعدش
website
توی
gets
چیز
ready.
میذاریم، توی سایت میذاریم.
And then we will put it on the website.
ویدیو جلسه اولم هستش.
اونم براتون
The
میفرستم.
video
خودم
of the
براتون
first
درستش
session, do
میکنم،
you have
چون
it?
خط وصلی
I will
زیاد
send it to
بفرستم.
you.
خب پس کی تشکیل میشه انشالله این
When
تلگرام؟
will the
امشب
group
براتون
chat
تشکیل
be
میدم.
created?
پس
I will create
بعدش
it tonight.
میتونید وبینار رو بفرستید.
So you
بله
can
بله.
send the webinar
دوستان
then.
پرسیدن نرم افزار چی هست؟ من نمیدونم منظورشون چیه.
One of our
صدا ندارم،
friends
ببینم صداشون بازه یا
asked
نه.
which platform you are using. I don't know what they mean.
صدا دارین شما. من احساس دارم برای من تایپ کنید منظورتون چیه از نرم
Type for
افزار.
me what you mean by platform or software.
دوستان پس این ویدیو رو براتون میفرستم.
Okay, I will send you the video.
هستن
It's about the pivots.
اندیکاتوره، یه اندیکاتور پیوت هستش.
It's an
بهتون بعداً
indicator.
توضیح
It's a
میدم.
pivot indicator that will be given to you later.
قبل از اینکه الان خداحافظی کنید میشه یکی دو تا پوزیشن خوب بهمون
Can you
بگید
give us
تا
some
فرصت بشه
medium-term good positions for us to
این
get?
ساعت بالا
In this
بذارید
hour, let me
این پیوت
see.
بعدا بهتون میدم. تو کانالم سرچ بکنید
I
نوشتین
will
عبداللهی پیوت یا یونیکورن پیوت پیداش
I will
میکنم.
talk about the pivots later in the video.
سیگنال فونت که خوب
Signal.
نیست،
It's not good here.
راه هم که خوب
This
نیست.
is not good here.
اینم بد جایه.
It's not good here.
استاد همین پوزیشنی که با این خط رمل گرفتید چطوره؟
What's the position that you got a trend line with?
دلار به ین
Dollar to yen.
این خوبه.
This is good.
این بای داره.
This has a good buying
دلار
position.
بگن.
Dollar to
این
yen.
بای داره تو خوب.
Yeah, it has a buy.
قیمتیه. فعلا تی پی اولتون اینجا بده. 109
Put your TP
ممیز
here.
204.
109.4.
رو چیه تصویر استاد؟
نه خواستم قیمتش رو در بیارم چون فشرده شده
I
قیمتش
wanted to find the price.
استاد پوندین هم اگه بشه
Can you
چارت کلی شده.
یه لحظه. این
can you
تی
do
پی
pound to
یکی
yen?
بذارین اولش 10 پی پی بهتون میده.
It would give you like
یه
10
دو
pips.
تونم این قیمت میشه.
109.094.
تی پی 3 تونم این
Your
قیمت.
third TP would be this price. 109.156. It would be your daily TP.
استاپ کجا بذاریم؟
Where do we put the stop? It doesn't want the stop loss. Put it here.
زیر کندل 4 ساعت.
Under your 4-hour candle. Dollar to franc.
بای داره.
It has a buy position,
بای زیاد نیست.
but it's not a lot. Its buy would be here. 0.99. Can you tell it one more time?
تی پی رو چند بزنی؟
What would the TP?
99 508
Wait a minute.
99 568
Your third would be
استاپ هم
99.598. The stop would be
0.99 190
0.99.
بای بود دیگه.
It was a buy, right? Yes.
این یورو آیدر هم که استاد فهمیدید من ببندم دیگه.
اونو ببند، اونو اشتباه داده.
اشتباه دادم بهمون استاد.
خب طلا رو
For the
صبر
gold,
کن. طلا درست
wait
من
for it.
بهش دادم. خب بزن
It's
کندل
true that I
بزنیم.
have a buy
کندل
position,
میشه بیاره پایین.
but when this candle finishes, we can say it.
چقدر میاد پایین الان؟
How much will it go down? If it wants to go down,
کندل روزانه 12 شب بسته میشه.
the daily candle gets ended 12 a.m. No, it would be like 1 a.m.
روند
The
نزولش تا
downtrend
چند
would go
میاد؟
down until what?
یه لحظه.
I'm finding it out.
نزولش تایید بشه.
If the downtrend gets confirmed, we have two TPs. The first TP would be this number. And your next TP would be this number. Thank you. It may get stuck in the first TP. The
تی پی اول چند بود استاد؟
1317 اومد 29.
if the downtrend of gold gets confirmed, can we enter with full margin? No, don't do that.
چیزشو میگی؟ ببخشید.
بایش که الان سودش هم 0.99 568.
What about its stop loss?
0.99
3.99. Can you say the Dow Jones as well? No, the Dow Jones is risky. Don't do it to yourself. Dow Jones is bullish right now. It will go up until here for you.
استاد پوندین رو بیزنمت یه چارت کلیشو 4 ساعتشو میاری.
Can you pull up the pound to yen chart? I have a question.